Sigma, what's wrong with your hand?
Huh?
There's something white on it.
There's what? What the hell is this? For the first time since I had found Alice in the crew quarters, I looked down at my hand. Across the palm was some sort of strange white liquid. For a moment I thought I had somehow touched some white paint or something similar, but the truth was far stranger. The liquid was coming from my hand. It was coming from the cut I had given myself when I grabbed the scalpel away from Alice. But why? Where was the blood? I felt a very odd sort of fear beginning to wrap its hand around my throat. Quickly, I held my palm against my chest. I shouldn't have let Luna see that.
Are you all right?
Yeah, it's nothing. I went to the pantry where I was looking for Alice. There was some milk and I spilled it. It sounded even stupider as I said it.
Really?
Yeah.
But...
Just shut up. It's fine, alright? I'm fine, leave me alone. I regretted the words the moment they were out of my mouth. But something was wrong, very wrong, and my head was spinning.
Sigma...
Oh man, I'm so sorry. Just don't worry about it, okay?
30 seconds remain until polling closes.
There was no time left. I had to vote. I turned and faced the machine. I took a few deep breaths, but the chaos in my mind refused to calm itself. Calm down, just calm down. You need to think about the AB game right now. Just forget about your hand. Or was I kidding? There was no way I could forget about something like that.
10 seconds remain until aRdW. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Round 2. Result. Thank aRdW.
Luna and I stepped out of the AB room. I could see the others filling out of their rooms as we did.
Why?
I didn't have an answer for her. All I could think about was that white liquid. What was it? Some kind of discharge? Blood? Abgerutscht. No, it couldn't be blood. Blood wasn't white. That was insane. I was lost in thought when Luna spoke.
I'm going to the infirmary.
Don't you want to see the results?
Why? I already know what they're going to be.
Her usually warm personality seemed to have gone cold. Oh. Whether it was because I had chosen betrayal or because she'd noticed that something was wrong with my body, I couldn't say.
Excuse me.
And with that, she was gone. Tut mir leid, Luna. I turned back to the projection. With heavy steps, I headed toward KDO and Temyoji.
Results from please.
Nicht viele da. Okay, hart. Tatsächlich Ally gewählt. Ich glaube, ich werde verrückt. Temyoji und Alice Ally. Oh, ich bin der Einzige, der Betray gewählt hat. Das wird bestimmt richtig gut ankommen. 878 3739 84.
Points, please.
What the hell?
Sigma has 9 BP?
See? I told you! The bastard's finally showing his true colors. What the hell are you doing? Clover isn't even voting!
I have misjudged you. I never thought you would do something so cowardly.
There was nothing I could say. I had chosen betray of my own volition, but had I really? Had I really pressed that button of my own free will? The more I thought about it, the more I felt as though some other force had guided my hand to the button. Der Twitch-Chat. Perhaps it had been fear? I was scared by the white fluid that had appeared on my palm. Maybe that had been the tipping point, and I had decided that I had to escape as soon as possible. Damn the consequences. If I got out, then the nightmare would be over. That's all it was, right? A nightmare. It couldn't be real. White blood was insane, impossible. That was when I looked up and saw the others staring at my hand. Uh-oh. Shit. I quickly put my hand behind my back, but it was already too late. They moved toward me like wolves, closing in for the kill.
Sigma? What was that?
He was cut. It must have been blood.
But why was it white?
Isn't that obvious? He's not human.
Not human.
No. What are you saying? Of course I'm human. I'm 100% human.
Then explain that white stuff.
I swear to God, I have no idea what it is. You have to believe me.
I'm afraid you're not being very convincing.
Oh, you want to talk? We can't even see you. You could be a robot. Maybe that's not even a suit, that's just you, robot you.
No, that seems extremely unlikely. However bad my amnesia might be, I am quite sure of my humanity. I am, without a doubt, not a robot.
They probably just programmed you to think that.
Alright, it's pretty obvious this guy's dangerous and probably unhinged. We should take him down.
I agree.
Looks like there's no other way.
Uh-oh.
Now that he's got 9 BP from stabbing Clover in the back, there's a good chance he'll try and get out of here by himself.
Hey, hold on a minute. Let's not do anything rash. Huh. I didn't have a choice. I spun around and ran for the number 9 door.
No, I don't think so!
Shit, let go of me. I was no match for all 3 of them. Before I could take 2 steps, I was on the floor, pinned. The desperation was only getting stronger, however, and I writhed and twisted in a futile attempt to get free. God damn it, you have to let me go. This is all some kind of mistake, a misunderstanding. It's a conspiracy.
So, there's a conspiracy to turn your blood white? You're a funny guy.
Stop trying to get away. It's over.
Shit, get off me. Let me go.
If you won't calm down, then you leave me no choice. I'd hoped we could avoid this. Try not to struggle too much.
No, don't. Und dann hat er ihm das Genick gebrochen. Oh. The first thing I felt when I woke up was the hot pain of a bruise all the way across my neck. Kay must have suffocated me. My head felt like it had been stuffed with cotton, and I had to put out a hand to steady myself as I stood up. Where am I? Is this the infirmary? How long had I been out? My foot bumped into something and I looked down to see the injection gun. A glass vial labeled Soporil was still attached to it. The anesthetic. After choking me, they'd made sure I wasn't getting up in the near future. That meant I could have been asleep for a long time. Where is everyone? I glanced around the room. It was empty, except for me. It took me a moment to realize what was especially odd about that. Even Quark and Alice had disappeared. What the hell is going on? That was when I noticed it. Quark and Alice weren't the only things that had disappeared. 2 other very important things were also gone. My bracelet and my left hand. For a long moment I just stared, dumbstruck. What I was seeing couldn't possibly be real, but there was, a smooth cross-section of my arm, where a hand should have been. A thick white liquid dripped slowly from the stone. What is this? Oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god. A scream clawed its way out of my body, taking my mind with it. Then after that, nothing. Das war wohl die falsche Entscheidung. Also gehen wir zurück und machen diesmal Ally.
Six, five.
Dann ist wenigstens Luna auch glücklich und wir müssen uns nicht so mies fühlen, deswegen. Sigma aus weißer Flüssigkeit besteht. Das könnte noch wichtig sein. Na. Luna and I stepped out of the AB room. I could see the others filing out of their rooms as we did.
So you chose Ally after all?
Yeah. To be honest, the AB game was the last thing on my mind. As chaotic as my thoughts were, they all centered on one thing. The mysterious white liquid.
Do you want to go see the results?
Sure. Luna nodded and walked off toward the projection, but I couldn't move. I glanced around to make sure no one was watching and opened my hand. The liquid didn't seem to have clotted or run out, since it was still oozing thickly out of the slit in my hand. What in the hell is this? It couldn't be blood, could it? No. That was impossible. No matter how many white blood cells clumped together, you'd never get anything that looked like that. I had never seen my blood do this before. In 22 years of life, I had seen my body bleed many times. Scraped knees as a kid, accidental nicks with a knife as an adult. But every single time I had bled red, like any other human being. So why was it that this time it was white? What the hell is happening to me?
Hey, Sigma, what are you doing?
Nothing.
Get the hell over here.
Okay.
They're gonna show the results.
Yeah, right. On my way. I did my best to compose myself and headed over to join the others.
Results from round 2, please.
Dumm. Jetzt müssten ja alle Ally gewählt haben, oder? Boah, guckt euch das mal an. Wenn ich an den anderen Pfad denke, wo wir irgendwann Betray all across the board hatten, ist das doch mal ein schöner Anblick. So, lässt einem das Herz warm werden. Alle haben Ally gewählt.
Points, please.
This is incredible. Look, everyone voted Ally. You did just like you promised, Kay.
How could I choose Betray after what Phi said to me?
Tenmyoji and Dio voted Ally too.
Of course.
Aber wahrscheinlich auch nur, weil Tenmyoji Dio da drin den Arm auf den Rücken gebogen und ihm permanent die Nieren getreten hat oder so.
If we hadn't, Alice would have died.
Yeah, well, that's about it, I guess.
We should thank the both of you as well. I'm happy to see you also chose Ally.
Oh, I didn't have anything to do with it. That was all Sigma.
Then thank you very much, Sigma. Sigma? Sigma, are you all right?
Come on, what's wrong? Just say something.
Huh? Oh yeah, looks like we all allied. That's great.
Sigma, what the hell's wrong with you?
Yeah, you've been acting a little out of it ever since we came out of the AB rooms. What happened? You make it past at Luna and get shot down?
No, nothing like that.
Hey man, it was a joke. You remember what that is? A joke? You're in pretty bad shape, huh?
Before Dio could continue, the heavy metal rumble of doors shutting echoed through the warehouse. Puh. Diesmal sehen sie es also
The
nicht.
ambidex gates. Round star keys. There is no set limit. The ambidex.
We can open the gates as many times as we want to. Then, that means...
We can play the AB game as many times as we like, right?
Hey, Zero Jr. said something about this, didn't he?
Achso, dass die Farben sich ändern und so.
Yeah, right. Sorry to be a pain, but could you all show me your bracelets? I want to see what all your colors and assignments are.
Everyone nodded and held their oh, held their arms out toward him. I stared at them, terrified to follow suit, but certain that refusing would only draw more suspicion. So I held my arm out, hand tightened into a white-knuckled fist to hide the cut. When their eyes landed on my hand, my heart skipped a beat.
Huh. So Dio and Kay are a yellow pair.
Hier hat wohl keiner bemerkt.
Luna and I are both pairs, but our colors are different.
Right. You're a cyan, and I'm magenta.
That makes Sigma the only solo, huh? A red solo. So what are the 4 we left in the infirmary?
Luna and I are pairs, so 2 of them are our partners.
That means the other 2 are solos. Although, I guess we don't know what colors they are.
They're probably green and blue.
Why's that?
Didn't you see them? There are a bunch of white doors in the Floor B warehouse. They have to be the next set of chromatic doors.
Ah, yes. Fine, I saw them as well. On our way back from the garden with the unconscious Quark. And there they were.
Was, gehen wir jetzt dahin, oder? Oder was?
Each one had a box just like the doors on floor A.
Achso, es hat nur gezeigt, welchen Weg sie genommen haben.
Given that, I don't see how there can be any question. Those white doors are our next set of chromatic doors.
I think that our bracelet combinations will have to add up to white in order to open the secondary doors. The pairs are cyan, magenta, and yellow. You see?
Yeah. If we need to make white, then the other 3 colors would have to be red, green, and blue.
Right.
Good. Now that we've got that figured out, I'm heading back to the infirmary for a bit. I want to check up on Quark and Alice.
I shall accompany you then.
Might as well go with you, I guess. No real reason to hang out here.
Well, what will you 2 do?
I need to talk to Sigma about something.
About what?
Something?
Her usual pleasant expression had been replaced with something much more sullen. She must have noticed that there was something wrong with me. That was what she wanted to talk about. I was sure of it. Okay, fine. I managed to make my voice sound almost relaxed.
Whoa, hold on. A private talk?
Yeah, you're not invited.
What are you guys plotting?
Intercourse?
We're not plotting anything. I promise. It's nothing.
Fine, whatever. See if I care.
Yeah. Dio tossed his head with a mixture of arrogance and faint disinterest and marched out the elevator. Temusi and Kay quickly followed. In only moments, all 3 had disappeared. Goodbye. So, what was it that you wanted to talk about? Als ob du fragen müsstest. I was almost certain I knew, but there was always hope. I did my best to act as if I was genuinely confused.
Oh, I don't really like this room. Could we go somewhere else?
Okay.
Good. I found somewhere nice when I was looking for Alice earlier.
As strange as her request was, I had no reason to object. I kept my mouth shut and followed Luna as she headed off. Ich finde ihre Synchronsprecherin voll toll. Das ist auch die in Persona 4, dieses Idol-Mädchen gesprochen hat. The garden.
You know this place?
Yes, well, sort of. I came here once when I was looking for Alice. Moment mal.
Oh, I see.
Das stimmt aber nicht mehr. Also, gewissermaßen schon. So, what brings you here?
Isn't this nice? This is the only place in the whole facility with anything green. I feel kind of silly saying it, but it makes me think of the great outdoors. I think it's the perfect place for a serious conversation. Being surrounded by nature makes me feel happy. Oh, there's a bench over there. Would you like to sit down with me?
Lise, genau. She sat down softly and gently, and I lowered myself down next to her. So, what did you want to talk to me about? Instead of answering, Luna lifted the tiny birdcage pendant she wore into the palm of her hand. Ich finde, in dieser Ansicht sieht sie irgendwie komisch aus, sonst sieht sie nicht so komisch aus. She was silent for a moment, and then began to talk.
Can I tell you something? This is actually a music box.
Really?
Yes.
She twisted the key on the bottom, and it made an almost imperceptible winding noise. When she released it, soft, clear notes drifted out. It's a nice song, das ist das eine Lied, das ich voll toll finde. Nur halt diesmal nicht in der Orchesterversion. Aber das Lied mit der Orchesterversion fängt halt auch mit der Musicbox an. Werden wir heute wahrscheinlich auch nochmal hören. Why did you bring that up, though?
Because I wanted you to know, I guess. I wanted you to know more about me. Maybe it's because I'm so shy, but I don't really have any friends. Or even any acquaintances, really. So I've sort of always been alone. It was really hard. I felt so lonely a lot of the time. And it hurt. It felt like I was just kind of going to collapse from the inside out. That was when I got this music box. Someone very important gave it to me. They didn't say anything, but I felt like there was an unspoken message behind it. Luna, happiness is closer than you think. Do you know Maeterlincks, the bluebird?
Yeah. Well, I know the gist of it. I think it starts on Christmas Eve. This brother and sister named Tiltil and Myrtle get asked to find a blue bird by this old woman, and they travel to the dream world. Or something. Anyway, supposedly if you can catch this bird, then you can make a wish come true. So they visit all these different places, but they can't find it. Eventually they give up and go home, but when they wake up, the bird is in a birdcage in their hut.
That's right. It's a well-known story, and it teaches a simple lesson.
Yeah, like you said, happiness is closer than you think.
Right. It got me thinking. Maybe the person who gave me this music box was trying to tell me just that. I don't know if that's true. Maybe all of this is just in my head, but I really felt like that was what they'd meant. It was so kind. I kept it with me all the time, like a kind of good luck charm. But one day I realized something. There was another meaning to the bluebird. In Maeterlincks' original story, it doesn't end with them waking up.
There's more?
Yes, when Tiltil and Myrtle try to feed the bird, it leaves the cage and flies away, and then the story ends.
Whoa. What about the moral then?
It changes. Now the message is that just when you think you found happiness, you lose it again.
Na, das ist ja nett.
I thought about that for a while, but in the end, it didn't change how I felt. I don't know what they intended it to mean when they gave it to me, but I decided how I was going to look at it. It means that happiness is something you should always be looking for. And it's only when you're pursuing happiness that you're truly happy. You know, Sigma, I think you might be Tiltil.
What?
You know, the boy who the old lady asked to find the bluebird on Christmas Eve.
What are you trying to say?
Can I ask you something?
I'm sure.
Where did you find Alice?
What does that have to do with anything?
Just answer me. Where did you find Alice?
Room 2 in the crew quarters.
Where were you before that?
I was in the lounge. That was after we'd split up to go look for Alice. First place I went was the lounge.
So you went from the lounge to the crew quarters, where you found Alice, and then you rushed her to the infirmary, right?
Yeah.
Okay, tell me this then. How do you know about the garden? Just now you said you'd come here when you were looking for Alice, didn't you?
Ist mir auch aufgefallen.
That doesn't make any sense. There wouldn't have been any time for you to visit the garden while you were looking for Alice. So tell me, Sigma, how do you know about this place?
Well, I didn't know what to say. I couldn't even explain it to myself. Why had I told her I knew about the garden? Why had I told her I'd been there before?
Sigma, are you a robot? Have you always been here?
What?
See, It would make so much sense if you were. That would explain why you knew about the garden, and it would explain that cut on your left hand.
Uh-oh. Damn. So you did see it, huh?
Yes, I've been told that robots these days have what's called artificial biological tissue, or ABT, on top of a metal skeleton. It makes them look almost exactly like a human, and ABT uses this white liquid instead of blood.
For some reason, when Luna had called me a robot, it hadn't really fazed me. Maybe because it was just so out there. It didn't sound like a real possibility. It sounded more like a theory you'd get from someone in a nut house. Still, my hand was still oozing white liquid. Was I really a robot? No, that was impossible. I needed to stop doing that. Questioning myself so much was giving me heart palpitations. Luna, aren't you a little scared?
Scared? Why would I be scared?
Well, let's say I am a robot. That means there's a pretty good chance Zero's pulling my strings. That would make me your enemy.
Oh, I guess so. Well, even if you were, I wouldn't be scared.
Why not?
Maybe because you're a robot.
Huh?
Have you ever heard of the 3 laws of robotics? They were a set of rules created by the science fiction author Isaac Asimov that he used in several of his stories.
Rule 1. A robot may not injure a human being or through inaction allow a human being to come to harm. Rule 2. A robot must obey any orders given to it by human beings except when such orders would conflict with the first law. Rule 3. A robot must protect its own existence as long as such protection does not conflict with the first or second laws. Oh yeah, I've heard those before. That's just an ideal though. You could work toward that, but I don't think you could ever actually achieve it. I mean, depending on how you program them, robots could do pretty much whatever they wanted to.
Yes, you're right, but I believe in them. In you, however you're programmed, I don't think you'd break any of the 3 laws.
Genau. Ich habe auch gerade gedacht, müsste da jetzt nicht auch Law stehen.
A robot without the 3 laws is just a bunch of metal and plastic. That's not you. You have a heart. You're a good person. It's in your eyes. Well, I guess I'm just kind of assuming you're a robot. There's still a chance you're not. We should run some tests.
Tests?
Yes.
How?
Well, the atom should be able to tell us.
Oh yeah, that thing in the infirmary. I heard the crunch of dried leaves behind us. Uh-oh. But when I turned, there was nothing. Who is it?
Is someone there?